court records, marriage licenses, property deeds, and divorce filings. Our public records mark the history of our communities. They are the cornerstones of our democratic system. They tell the story of our lives. Your clerk of court serves the community as an independently elected constitutional officer, committed to serving the people of the county, assisting them with the court system, offering accountability for public dollars, and preserving your records.
The actual first clerk in the territory of Florida was actually appointed by Andrew Jackson, who was governor, provisional military governor before the Florida territory was even organized. And it was their job to record all of the proceedings in the courts, as well as to register the deeds and carefully keep all of the records in the county, which was very difficult. Keeping them dry, literally dry, keeping them away from the rats, keeping them away from the other vermin, of course, that were so prevalent on the frontier.
Today's clerk of court is far more important than most people can imagine. In fact, Florida law currently lists more than 1,000 individual responsibilities for the clerk. They fall generally into three categories: partnering in the court system, safeguarding your tax dollars, and preserving the records of your life. The clerk's duties to the court extend well beyond trials. Every day, your clerk of court helps people interact with the court system on important matters ranging from paying traffic citations and applying for marriage licenses to recording property transactions and filing for divorce. In some counties, you can even apply for a passport through the clerk of court. The clerk of court also assists people filing small claims actions, providing the parties with the necessary paperwork and pointing them in the right direction whenever necessary.
I would want everyone to remember that the clerk of court is a vital function in our legal system and in our court system. Not just lawyers, but society wouldn't be able to get anything done in any aspect: domestic, criminal, civil justice, all those things that keep our society, our economy, and our marketplace going would be a mess. The system of order would be a mess without the clerk of court.
The clerk also helps families by processing orders of protection in cases of domestic abuse and keeping accurate child support payment records. In many Florida counties, the clerk of court also serves as the controller, the county's chief financial officer. Florida's Constitution charges the county controller with being the custodian of county funds. While the clerk of court keeps a close eye on the monies collected through the court system, the controller watches the county's budgets and expenditures, making sure local spending is lawfully authorized. It's a classic example of checks and balances at work, dating back to the earliest days of the Republic. The role of the clerk is unique in that it comes with an added level of accountability. As an elected official and a trustee of public funds, the clerk of court is personally accountable as well as institutionally.
The clerk has to be accountable, very similar to the tax collector. They have to be good stewards and good guardians of the taxpayers' funds, as well as making sure that the services are provided that benefit the local governments. Without the clerk of court, local government could not function.
Perhaps the clerk's most important responsibility is preserving and keeping the records. Our way of life and democratic process rely on accurate records. Clear, accurate records of court proceedings, property ownership, and other important legal papers ensure accountability and lend support to our legal system.
My wife and I were filing for homestead exemption, and we were missing some of the paperwork, so we went to the clerk's office, and they were able to help us. They had everything we needed. They were very helpful, and we were able to take the information back and get the paperwork filed on time.
In addition to maintaining public records, the clerk of court is responsible for making sure citizens have access to them. Florida law requires the clerk to make certain important records available over the internet.
The public's right to know is served by easy access to public information that is in the custody of public officials, and the courthouse is that place where the whole life of the community is pretty much reflected.
Your clerk of court is also hard at work making sure your privacy is safeguarded, working with citizens, other governmental offices, and the latest cutting-edge technology to keep private information out of the wrong hands.
It's a very complicated job. I appreciate it. I think a lot of people they don't really realize what all the clerk responsibility has.
The clerks of court in Florida are accountable to you. The scope of their activities affects your life every day. Whether acting as a partner in the court system, maintaining government accountability, or preserving public records, Florida's clerks of court are working hard on your behalf and welcome your input.